Coming up on Mountain News this morning, Kentuckians are taking a look back at previous presidential trips to the Commonwealth and how the Secret Service prepared for them. And officials are stressing the importance of gun safety as more accidental deaths continue to occur.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 6:30 on Tuesday, July 16th. Now let's check in with meteorologist Mace Michaels for a look at your forecast this morning.
Good morning, Olivia. We're running into the heat and humidity once again today, but we'll have a few more clouds around. That may help take a little bit off of the intense heat for the afternoon. As you look at Buffalo Mountain, you see some of those clouds building in. 72 our temp. There'll still be plenty of sunshine out there. No surprise. It'll warm us well up into the 90s, but at least if you're outside for a long period of time, the clouds will help to shroud back that intense sunshine. 72 here as you look at Hazard. You can see some of the sunshine there, the sun's rays peeking through the clouds. Lots of 60s from Middlesboro to Grundy, Wise, and Clintwood included. Otherwise, it's well up into the 70s. Monticello's been our warm spot through the morning. Right now sitting at 78. Here's some of the clouds moving in ahead of the cold front. Cold front will bring the changes to our forecast down the road, but nice to have, again, a few of those clouds around today. The front is bringing a lot of showers and storms to Indiana and Illinois and even parts of Ohio and the Great Lakes states. When the front moves through tomorrow, of course, our temperatures will drop back. Today, it'll just bring a little rain, but not really much for chances until the late afternoon and on into the evening. Again, another hot one, Olivia, and very humid with highs in the low 90s to mid 90s.
All right, Mace, thank you. Some people are thinking more about security measures needed to be taken during a visit by a president or former president. WYMT's RJ Johnson shares how the city of Hazard prepared for President Bill Clinton 25 years ago.
Presidential safety has been a big topic ever since President Donald Trump was shot at a rally in Pennsylvania last Saturday. For Minor Allen, it brings him back to July of 1999 when President Bill Clinton visited Jackson County and Hazard.
You know, it's an intense thing. It's always a big honor when you have a presidential candidate or the actual president of the United States that comes into your area.
Being captain of the Hazard Police Department at the time, he says preparation began immediately following the news that Clinton would be in town.
You know, the uniform division of the Secret Service, when they came, they brought like 100 and some officers with them. We was able to start looking at some different areas and things like that and coordinating with other agencies as far as manpower that we could borrow or use during that time.
Saying plans needed to be put in place for worst case scenarios.
We actually did walkthroughs of the surrounding area, checked all the windows and every building downtown, made sure that they was all secure. Rooftops were inspected, mountainsides, creek banks, river banks, just anything in the area.
However, Allen says protocols look different when Clinton visited the area while he was not a sitting president.
During just the visits for political rallies or whatever for those that was running for office or speaking on behalf of other candidates, we never had as much presence as we did when an actual president, a sitting president came, but it was still pretty intense,
However, they were still able to ensure the safety of not only President Clinton, but folks in the area.
It was a lot of pressure, and of course, we tried to give 100%, and I think everybody did at that time. We was lucky and we was blessed that nothing happened.
In Hazard, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Allen says attention to detail was heavily enforced during the preparation. Breathitt County hosted sitting President Joe Biden nearly 2 years ago when he and First Lady Jill Biden visited after the July 2022 flood. Officials with the Breathitt County Sheriff's Office say protocol for that visit was very intense. They told WYMT on the phone that Secret Service scanned the area with helicopters for days leading up to the event. They scouted rooftops and other potential dangers and required a background check for all attendees. Jerica Noble says she encountered the Secret Service while working on flood cleanup near where the president spoke.
They were just asking a lot of questions. Have you seen any odd people come through? Have you seen people in the woods? So they were asking a lot of our staff if we had seen different people, just to be safe and be on the safe side.
Noble says the whole setup looked safe and secure, but was overwhelming and unlike anything she has seen before. More than 200 bills passed during the 2024 legislative session are now officially state law. Here are a few of them. Senate Bill 20 is about teens who are between 15 and 18 years old that are charged with violent offenses involving a gun will now be tried as adults. Cursive is now a requirement in elementary schools. Senate Bill 167 states teachers must ensure that students are proficient in cursive writing by the end of 5th grade. State police are investigating a shooting in Estill County that killed a 14-year-old. KSP says the initial investigation indicates they were shot by a 13-year-old child. Sherry Hannon works for Safe Kids Fayette County, a childhood injury prevention program through the University of Kentucky. She says many of the deaths involving children with guns can be prevented. Hannon says firearms should be unloaded and locked in gun safes with ammunition stored separately.
We want to make sure that if kids can gain access, they're around those as they become older, that they really have the respect and understanding about how to handle a gun.
Hannon says when it comes to firearms around children, there is always a potential for an already dangerous scenario to take a deadly turn. The man being charged with a deadly stabbing at the Friendship House in Louisville has another court date. Kenneth Muse is expected back in court on July 29th for his arraignment. He's facing charges for the murder of Brenda Kemp that happened on May 15th. Muse signed in as a visitor, and he even called 911 to report the stabbing. He had been out on parole since 2019 for a previous murder conviction that happened back in 1975. A Madison County woman is recovering 2 weeks after she was found shot in her front yard as her home burned down. Nancy Irwin was found with a life-threatening gunshot wound on June 29th. Her sister-in-law Larissa says she's undergone 2 surgeries since, and there's a chance she will need more. Larissa says Nancy was shot by Jerry Thigpen, who later set the home on fire and was found dead inside.
She's lost everything. Like, there's nothing left. And just trying to pick up the pieces and where do you go from here?
According to our sister station, court records show Nancy tried to get an EPO against Thigpen back in May. It was later dismissed. She tried to evict Thigpen in February of this year. A Manchester man is facing charges after police found drugs on him during a traffic stop. The incident happened yesterday when deputies with Corbin PD pulled over 45-year-old Denny Taylor on traffic-related charges. During a search of the vehicle, officers found a quantity of suspected meth as well as related paraphernalia. Taylor was taken to the Knox County Detention Center. A registered sex offender is facing several charges after running away from police in Corbin. 42-year-old Ricky Becker was riding a bike Sunday when police stopped him for traffic-related offenses. When police determined that he was intoxicated and armed with a knife, Becker took off down a steep bank and into a creek. He was later found hiding in a trash can. Police say Becker did not properly register as a sex offender when he moved to Corbin. A Pulaski County man is in jail after he reportedly stole a garden tiller at a home in Knox County. July 5th is when Knox County Sheriff's deputies responded to the complaint. Nearly a week later, police were searching the area close to where the reported theft occurred. That's when they found Robbie Renner of Bronson. Police arrested Renner after he tried to evade them on foot. He was taken to the Knox County Detention Center. In central Kentucky, crews had to clean up a car fire in a Lexington neighborhood. It happened a little before 3 p.m. on Cantrell Drive off Eastland Parkway. The Lexington fire chief says a car hit a tree and caught fire. The vehicle sustained major damage from the flames, but the driver was not hurt. No other cars were involved.
Looking warm once again today. Heat and humidity with us. Temps already beginning in the mid-70s as you look here in Whitesburg. We have a few more clouds in the area to talk about today. It will still heat up again well into the 90s. You notice these thin, wispy high clouds as you look at our hazard camera. It is as warm, though, as 73. And, of course, it is muggy. 70s over most of the area. If you're not in the 70s, you are in the upper 60s. And we have those high clouds again drifting into the region now. You notice those here on the satellite. They will kind of burst through on and off throughout the afternoon, shrouding back the sun a little bit. Storms up to our northwest will move in late afternoon and into the evening, and a front tomorrow will bring in some storms as well. That'll bring in cooler temperatures. So a little fog and haze in spots today. Otherwise, just a plain old muggy, hot day today in your travel weather forecast, getting you out the door with high temperatures into the mid-90s. We'll look at those storm chances coming up and also the cooler weather after the break.